Hey guys, welcome back. So what I'm about to show you are all of the palettes that I do not actually have in my vanity right now. So these are things that I keep in a couple of separate drawers inside of my closet, and what I'm pointing at is my actual vanity, which I will show you. And of course, a video on what actually is in this pile will come soon. But let's get started, y'all. First things first, these are two palettes by NYX. I really like these and I have barely used these, and I'm ashamed of myself for saying that. The first one is the Lid Lingerie, which is 6 mattes, and the second is the Cosmic Metals, which is 6 metallic shades. Like I said, these are pigmented, they're buttery, they're beautiful, and I have no idea why I'm not using these. They're just kind of sitting. I think it's the fact that they're really just too pretty to touch. Let's be really honest there. These shades are beautiful. They do show up very well. A few of these, like the bottom corner shades, are not the best, but the others are mwah, amazeballs. Secondly, this was one of my first eyeshadow palettes. I got this the first time it launched, you guys. This is the Bronze palette by Kylie Cosmetics. I've used this maybe a total of 10 times. It's very easy to work with. It's easy to blend. It's a great starter eyeshadow palette, but that's unfortunately exactly what it is. A starter, not very every look looks the same kind of thing. Let's just say it. It is what it is. This is a special edition. I got this when it was on sale on the MAC Cosmetics website. It's a quad of 4. These are, I would say, definitely duochrome shimmery shades. They definitely have beautiful undertones when you apply them to the skin. And they're not super glittery, so surprisingly these work well on the face too, which I was super impressed with. This is one of those gift with purchase palettes that came from something that my mom purchased with Lancome. Now these shadows, they are beautiful. They don't show up that well. Unfortunately, this is one of those, I'm going to say this a few times with a few different things, but it is what it is palette. It was a gift with purchase. Some of these neutral shades, some of the golds, they do show up quite nicely. I think the 3 I'm going to show you are what I would consider my favorites out of this little booger. Now, I have gotten a pretty good amount of use out of this palette, but there are things that are better, and that's kind of why she's not in my vanity. Now, I do want to be clear with a lot of these palettes that I'm willing to sell a lot of these that are not in my vanity right now that are in this video, like this one in particular. They all have been swatched. Some of them have been lightly used, and I'm not going to sell anything that has been excessively used. But this Naked Basics palette has got to go. Next thing, this is something I found at TJ Maxx. I found a couple of different versions of these Marc Jacob palettes, but this one is my favorite. I just cannot get rid of this for some reason. I don't find it to be extremely cohesive in a color palette. It's one of those, you've got to definitely have another palette that you start with, and they have great topper shades, but I love it. This is something I found on sale. This is the Blood Roses palette by Kevyn Aucoin. This has not been touched. It is fingerprint free, 100%. And there's just something about these shades. This palette is gorgeous. The color layout is flawless. It's gorgeous, isn't it? Look at her shine. This is unfortunately one of those palettes that it just needs a home with someone that's going to give it real love and not sit in my vanity just completely fingerprint free anymore. So he needs a new life. Next thing I'm going to show you are the 3 BoxyCharm palettes that I've gotten. I've had BoxyCharm for about 7 months now, and I'm really impressed with what I get. This one is by Pure Cosmetics, the extremely neutral palette, as we will call her. The Soiree Diaries. The second one, well, let me put these in order. The second one that I got, this one's by Winky Lux, the Kitten palette. Now, this is an adorable palette. The shades are not super pigmented, but you can get some fun coloration, some fun variety out of this guy for sure. I think I'm going to hold on to him. And then the last one was in last month box, I believe, the January box. And just quick thoughts. I can't get these to line up and frame together, but if you notice the color layout here and then the color layout here, they've got some similarities. Not a lot, but they flow together fairly well. This is all metallic shades except for one, I believe, which is that black matte shade. And then I'm going to pull out what's actually in my vanity real quick. This is one of the first palettes I got with BoxyCharm. It is 5 foiled metallic shades. These are gorgeous. This is by Blink Cosmetics, and unfortunately this palette, oh, is not going anywhere. Isn't that sexy? Let me move some goodies aside and start with what I have left. This is a custom palette I made with Inglot. These are 10 shimmery shadows. I keep all my shimmers together, and then I have another 25 pan palette that has mostly mattes and some of the glitter infused shades. But if you've never heard of Inglot, oh my god, they are worth checking out. This is one of those brands that I got curious about, and once I really discovered and got into it, I was so impressed. Not getting rid of this, unfortunately. The next two palettes I have here, these are both by Juvia's Place. This is most recent, the Zulu palette. I actually have something planned for this palette coming up because she needs some attention. So stay tuned for this to make an appearance in the upcoming video. And then the second one I purchased from a friend of mine that lives here in Houston. This is the Nubian palette, which is a gorgeous palette. These are pigmented. They work well, really well on the eyes, but I am just too white for this palette, so she needs a new home. And then Matte About You by Violet Voss. I really do pull this out every once in a while. It is, 50 Shades of Brown is really what this palette is. I really kind of stick more to the right side of the palette more than anything, away from some of the cooler tones. I've used that black quite a few times, but we all have these colors in other palettes, and I'm not really sure why I bought this. It definitely goes into that "why did I buy you" palette category, but that's that. So these are all of the palettes that I am currently not using in rotation in my vanity right now. Some of them need love, some of them I could never part to get rid of, but if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I look forward to seeing you guys in my next video. Bye!